It's Monday.
And it's start your day. It's 10:30 or a little bit after. So sorry we're late, people, but we are here on a very wet, chilly day. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm doing marvelously well, Karen. What about yourself?
Not too bad, apart from apparently I've got some internet problems, so I'm apologising. I think you can hear me, but I think my picture might be freezing, so I apologise for that.
That is the
But
joys of the postage stamp situation,
it
darling.
is, isn't it?
You know, the good thing so far, when the image has actually frozen, what we
Yeah.
actually see is a smile in you and hear you talking, so we can
Oh,
actually
that's
still
all
hear
right
you.
then. That's
But
good.
yeah,
That's good.
it's when it freezes and you're going that we can
I
start
know,
having a giggle.
I know. That's not very good, is it? No, no. But this is the virtual world that we live in at the moment. But it's all good. It's all good. So yes, I think Kerry's just saying I might not have internet in a couple of weeks, so I'll have to join tonight, today, twice as much. I
Absolutely,
like that.
Kelly,
I like
absolutely.
that. Well done. Well
Yeah.
done, Kelly. That's
And
brilliant.
this is
That's
the
brilliant.
thing, what I think is really important is that we should always make the most of what we've got. Yes, it's
Yes.
cold and it's chilly and it's miserable, but we've got each other. We've got this wonderful family feel that we've got these wonderful people joining together to help
Yes.
warm the cockles of the heart, to lift the vibration
Absolutely.
and just shake off the fetters of funky internet and cold weather and rain. And you know what, boy, have we got? And yeah, I know I say this every week, but I'm right, aren't I, Karen? Boy, have we got a show for you today.
Oh yes. Well, we always have a good show, but today we've got another special guest, which was really, really exciting because we have the wonderful medium Chris Jacobs with us. He's going to be coming along and we're going to be having a chat about him and also his book. So that'd be really, really exciting. So fabulous.
Absolutely.
So
And I've got to
yes.
say, for once, I can actually sit here and say, I have read the book. Now,
Oh,
I would love to say that that was really good research as a host on my part, but I read it a number of weeks ago now, before we booked Chris, obviously, to come on.
mm,
He's just such a great guy, and the book
he is.
just rips down your throat and tugs on your heartstrings. It really, really does.
Oh.
I can see him sit there cringing as if to say, "Really?" But it does. It does.
Well, he can tell us about, I love finding out about the inspiration behind how people decide to write a book, and so that's what I'll be wanting to find out today, the inspiration behind it, because I think it's a wonderful thing to do. I love reading real life stories, about how people got started, not just in mediumship, but in all walks of life. I think it's important. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think in the world in which we live, and I'm sure you'll agree on this one, in the world in which we live, it's important to be real and to get to the root of why we do things, and
Yes.
celebrate our successes and feel uplifted with that companionship. Um,
Mm.
and in this world, we can unite anywhere. We've united with Australia already today, and we're even uniting with a train that Neil Payne's on. So
Oh,
that is the joy of technology, um,
yeah.
isn't it? Just
Bless him. Morning, Neil. He's always on public transport, bless him. So, yes, on a train. So that's good. That's good.
absolutely. And so, along with our special guest, of course, Chris, and all of you wonderful people at home, we've got the lovely producer Richard whispering sweet nothings in our ear and telling us when to shut up and get on with it. And
The voice from above.
and we have, of course, got the lovely Kate May with us today. We've got all the news and views about what's coming up in your week on the SPTV world. But of course, we've also got you at home watching, and we've
Yes.
mentioned a couple of names as we've seen them, but it's time to say good morning to Tracy Foster. How are you? Welcome to the show. And don't forget, share, like, subscribe, and tell us what your name and where you come from.
Hello, Eunice. Nice to have you with us. Oh, she's got a lovely dog again. Oh, Angela Rich. Hello, Angela. Angela is a friend from West Wickham Church. So it's nice to have you with us.
Fabulous. And Helen Mansell, good morning to you. Nice to see you again.
Morning, Helen. Oh, your mum, Linda Brown. Hello, Linda. Lovely to have you with us.
Hi, Mum. And
I love it that she comes on to support us. I really do.
She does. Kaylee Watt, good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Laurie Garner, hello. Nice to see you.
Good morning. And yeah, mum's a real internet stalker, I tell you. Once she likes you, you don't. Onessa, all the way from the USA. Good morning to you.
Oh, lovely.
Good evening, whatever it is.
It might even be in the middle of the night if it's the US at this time. So, Carolyn Rankins, good morning to you. Oh, West Wales. Oh, I love Wales. I love visiting Wales.
Wonderful. And Angela Washford Vella, good morning, Nick and Karen from the Isle of Wight. And hi, Richard.
Another nice place. I like the Isle of Wight. It takes me back to my childhood. And we have Catherine Newkirk. Good morning to you, with a nice sunshine there.
That's
which we hope for. Positive sunshine.
Stick the sunshine in. Jen Abston, hello to you. Loving the hat. Loving the hat.
Oh yes, very festive, very festive. I've actually saw some people with Christmas trees up in their houses this weekend. Claire Kendall, good morning. Nice to see you.
Welcome along. Welcome along. And Bernice Harvett, good morning from South Africa. Good morning to you.
Wow. Good morning, Bernice. Question out there, who's got their Christmas tree up yet? I want to know who's. Oh, Richard's just said
it's still
Christmas.
November.
Well, I might wear a Christmas jumper next Monday. Because I like a bit of Christmas. 6 a.m. in Florida, US. Oh, Tish Pollock, wow.
Yes, and Catherine just replied, 4:41 in the morning.
Oh, wow. Bless.
Welcome. Wow. Gloria Douglas, good morning from Ohio.
Wow. That's amazing. Oh, Elizabeth Jones from South Wales, good morning to you.
We've got a strong Welsh contingent building up
today. We have today. We have. It's wonderful. Lisa Marie Holbrook, 4 trees are up. Well done, Lisa Marie. Never mind what Richard said.
I have to admit, I served Huntington Spiritualist Church last night, and they had 2 up. Carol-Ann Marshall Kearns woke up to snow today in Ontario, Canada. Wow.
Oh, I bet that's cold. I've served. Did you say Huntington, Nick?
Yes.
I've served Huntington years ago.
Yeah, lovely place.
It is nice. It is nice.
Skylight, Google morning from Panama City. Wow, that just.
Oh, hello to you. Oh, Jan, good morning from Slovakia. Oh, I bet it's cold there. Lovely to have you with us.
The picture.
Jan's also a friend.
Sue Walls, morning from the Wirral. Now there's a place to be, I tell you, the Wirral.
The Wirral. Never been there myself, but I've heard it's nice. Marcia, hello from Pennsylvania. Oh wow, gosh, we've got Wales, Slovakia, US. I don't know. We're all around the world.
Names here: Serendipity 589. Serendipity likes the rain, and the rain falling on the roof of meditation halls. I'm with you, Serendipity.
Yeah.
I love the sound of rain. It just gets me in that zone and in that place. I don't like being out in it, but I love sitting in the shelter from it and hearing it.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that one. Good morning, Eva.
Eva.
Hello, Eva's from Sweden. Oh, that's nice to have you with us. I bet she's had snow recently, so I don't know if she's got snow this morning. So lovely.
And Wendy Martin, good morning. It's good to see you both watching from Australia. Brilliant stuff. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If we've said hello, we're glad to see you. If we haven't seen you yet, it's not that we can't see you. It's just that if we were to spend the whole show saying hello to everyone, we'd never get to our special guest.
Exactly.
So it is really, really, really great to welcome everyone. And if we haven't said hello, hello. And of course, we have got lots to get through today. So let's dive straight in. Karen, who have we got with us today?
We have a wonderful friend and a wonderful medium, the amazing Mr. Chris Jacobs.
Here he is. Good morning.
Here he is.
Good morning to both.
How are you, Chris? What you been up to?
Oh, I'm absolutely fine. Busy as always. Just listening to the Christmas tree theme. You and I, Karen, know our very special friend Neil. He'll have his tree up, won't he?
Oh, he's had it up for a fortnight.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I don't think anything can stop him putting it up, is there?
No, he's just like a little Christmas elf, and he's even got an elf jumper.
That says it all. That says it all.
It does.
There he is.
Oh, look, he's here. There he is. Say good morning to you. He's on a train, yet another piece of public transport, travelling wherever I don't know if he's coming back from Lyon, Solent, or where he's come from. But anyway, and you've got lots of other people saying hello to you, Chris. So everybody
Thank
here.
You and all. Yeah. Thank you all for the lovely warm welcome. That's beautiful.
This is one of the best things about this wonderful group, isn't it, Karen? It's the warmth and friendship and everyone just diving into, and you know, it's fun to watch on playback where you get to see all of the conversations going on as well when they start ignoring us, especially when I go on one of my rants, and you know, everyone just chats amongst themselves, supports each other. When somebody's a bit down, everyone works together to bring them up. It is just such a beautiful feeling. And I'm so proud of the SPTV family, the way they're giving you such a very, very uplifting, warm welcome. And it's good to see you. It is really, really good to see you.
You know, Nick, it's been a couple of months, isn't it?
A couple of months since you came to Littleport. Yes. We're going to have to rectify that with you, Karen. You haven't been to Littleport.
No, I haven't. I must visit this famous place.
It's actually really, really nice for me as a co-host, and I'm sure Karen agrees with this, to actually be speaking with, interviewing, grilling, however you want to call it, someone that we both have actually met. Because it usually starts out, we meet people as, and it's the same for everyone online, you meet people as these postage stamps. And you start building a picture of how tall they are, how short they are, what they look like, and what they're like in real life. To have actually had that preamble of having met you in the physical world first puts a whole new dimension on the conversation.
It does.
It's wonderful because I haven't got to think about. So I wonder how tall is it, and I'm not distracted by all that, which is exactly what it's like when you meet people online for the first time. So. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, mate. It really, really is.
Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Now, Chris, when I met you back in February, when we were together in Weston-super-Mare at Spirit Quest, you kept something a little bit quiet. You never said that you'd written a book, and I was quite surprised when Nick and Richard told me that you had. So what's your book about, and where did you get the inspiration to write it?
Well, first of all, I think that might have been the gin that might have been blocking that one to you. Not that you drink much.
No, I don't. No.
Okay. Well, the inspiration came, believe this or not, and I think this happens to us all as spiritual people. Spirit tell us many years before what we're going to be doing. And I'll always remember when I was about, I think it was 17, 18 years old, I was told I would write a book, you know.
Wow.
And me being so shy, absolutely immediately poo-pooed that and said, never in a world would I ever write a book at all. And then so many years later, an actual student said, you know, when she found out a little bit about it, she said, you need to write this in a book. And as I sat and I went and sat and talked to Spirit, and it was quite an emotional thing, because if you read the book, you'll know what happened in my childhood and that. And Spirit saying, you need to put this down, not only for the healing for you, but this could help heal and inspire others. And so on that premise, that it would help heal and inspire others, is what started me to do this. Let me tell you, it's no easy feat. You think of people, 6 months, you'll have it written and knocked out. It's not a huge book by any means. Well, it took 3 years to do.
Wow. Was it hard to actually, start, middle, end? Was it, or did you do bits and then put it all together? How did you actually put it, do it?
I think for me, I started just by loosely going back to day one, and then put a few bits and carried on and doing that way. And then I revisited it, looked at it again, re-added it, and it just kept doing that and doing that. That's why it took so long. And then I think what was quite the hard-hitting part was nearing the end, when I looked back over it, I read back over it, and I looked at it and I thought, this is very factual. If I'm just an ordinary person on the street, I'm looking at this. This is so factual that it seemed somewhat devoid of life,
right,
in a way, when I put it. So again, I talked to the spirit world, and this is where they said, this is where the healing takes place. You really need to revisit it and face those feelings, face those emotions. And so that's when I started going through it, literally page by page, rewriting it all, every last little word of it, until we got the end product.
Wow. They do say that you have to sometimes rewrite to get it the way that it's meant to be. I have spoken to some of my friends have written, and also my son has done some writing as well. So it can be quite hard, I think, to touch those emotions. But well done you for doing that, and also all the people that have read it. I've yet to read it, so I'm going to have to get myself a copy. But I know Nick's read it, and also Linda, Nick's mum's read it as well, and she said that she enjoyed it. So what's it called? Have you got? Can you show us a copy so we can see it?
Yeah, it's A Life Far From Ordinary: My Life with Spirit, and very colourful front cover.
Beautiful.
And so I think can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Just drop it lower a little bit so people can see the title. Down a bit, down a bit, down a bit, down a bit. Perfect.
That's it.
There we
Lovely.
go.
So it is available on Amazon. So you can order a copy, and it comes very quick.
Well, that's good.
I think I just want to add something to this here, and as mediums, we have to touch on things that can be very evocative, very emotional for the recipient. Yes. And sometimes what actually, this book taught me about was touching on those emotions that I have to deal with. And so as mediums, sometimes I think, not saying all, that we forget that. Yeah. We try to give the message, but try not to put our emotion into it, because that's the way we're taught. But these are very real things, And I think, yes, let's not let's express the emotion, you know, and we can't be of it. But it is important to understand that we are living, human, feeling beings. And
Yes.
sometimes we have to revisit those things, you know, in order to truly understand. And, you know, Spirit once said to me in a very beautiful thing when I asked, why was the life that I had, why did I have to have that kind of life? And they said, to be the medium you are, you
Wow.
need to understand. You need to be able to touch on and identify with people. And so it's very hard for some people to understand that I wouldn't change a day of my life, even after all the things ever happened to me. And I can only say that now. 20 years ago, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, yes, I could. But now I truly understand that.
Absolutely. We are all the sum of our tears. Too few and the ground is infertile, too many and the best of us is washed away. And I think it's really important that the process that you went through, that you've just described for everyone, on how you kept revisiting, what you went through is a process of almost a reverse of how I was taught to deal with emotions when I was developing as a
Yes.
me. We're told to strip away the layers, strip away the emotions, strip away them one at a time. What you did was you put down this skeleton and you started adding details. And when you went back, you started adding the layers of those emotions on so that you could analyze and see them a step at a time, really. And I think it's vital. You touched on the emotional experiences of mediums. I think it's really important that people who come to us, who see mediums, who research mediums, see that we are real, genuine people that have experienced the same things that everybody in the world has experienced, and certain groups of people experience, and various individuals experience in their lives, because that is how we've got here, isn't it, Chris? You know, people come and see mediums and see them as these different kind of people, because sometimes we can be a bit different. I get that. But the point is, everyone comes into a spiritualist church for the first time because they've got some emotional situation to deal with, and a lot of mediums have got into the way of life in that way. We've been there, haven't we?
Yeah. You know, it is interesting, because I think it's so important to touch on those emotions and also deal with the emotions of self. And this is something I've been looking at over the past year with my students in Circle, because sometimes people come, I've seen it happen at the Arthur Findlay College, I've seen it happen in groups. People seem to think if they join a development class or come for a message, they're going to be instantly healed. But that's just the start, because Spirit opened the door for your spirit to sort of like to touch on those emotions, for the healing to come to fruition. And I say to a lot of people, don't go to an awareness or a development class, go for some healing. Sit in the church, listen to the addresses, just sit and just allow that healing. Because even if you don't receive a message, I believe that you receive the healing from the spirit world when you're just sitting in the service, and talk to people and form some contacts, and just allow your mind, your body and your spirit to heal, especially when you've been through traumas and grief. I think it's so important that we do that.
As human beings, we're so used to being absorbed in being a victim, and it takes a great deal to step outside of that. Spirit can only knock on the door.
Yeah.
You choose whether to answer that, and to, when you do, it can reveal some very profound aspects of your personality, your character, the very essence of the person you are. And we have to be willing to go on that journey. And
Oh,
it is,
yes.
it's our life and it's our journey. Now, we don't need to go at it full throttle, but if we do it step by step, the healing that we can receive can be absolutely astronomical, but we have to be willing to receive that, because we all know when you go to a healer for some physical healing, you still have to be receptive to that. It's not going to work unless you're receptive, unless you're willing to be healed. As I said, spirit can only ever knock on the door, and it is your choice and your choice alone, because that is why we're here, to experience a life. What we do with that is entirely up to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes that life is fantastic, and sometimes it's not so fantastic, and we have to take the rough with the smooth. I describe life as a roller coaster. You have the ups and the downs, and the whoopies and the tears, and all sorts of things. It can be, when you look back, and I suppose we're coming into the end of the year, and I always do sort of what I call a little bit of a check back on the year to see where I've been, to see what's been happening. And I really try to keep my glass half full, because I think it's important to think about the things that you have achieved and acknowledge the things that you may have could have improved on, or things that haven't gone so well, but try and take something out of that, as a learning experience as well.
Well, you've said it there. It is a definite learning experience, and as I can only reiterate, it's down to us whether we choose that. I think for me, when they say, oh, people have said to me, well, you've had to, you've chosen to experience this. Have I? I don't know about that. But, it happened. Now, that was a product of somebody else's issues, and I was just the victim of that. What I have dominion over is whether I choose to perpetuate that victim, or do I become the better person? And that is what the book was about, because I think at the end, it's a little while since I've done it, that I actually said, you have a choice. You can choose to carry on the way you are and be the victim, or you can choose to be the person you truly are, that authentic you, and see past all these faults that you are supposedly to have.
Absolutely. I always get inspired by the people out there that I get inspired by the people.
A second, Karen. Please be aware, everyone, that we have got a spammer if anyone's making a friend request. If anyone's making a friend request of you to deal with certain issues, take note of what Chris has just said. It's you that's got to turn it around and deal with it. You can't rely on people to just wave a magic wand. We apologise. Nothing we can do apart from what Richard's already done, and that's block them. Sorry, Karen, carry on.
That's all right. Sorry. So all the people that have been through some tough times, and then they turn things around, and they do things to inspire other people. They form charities, they raise money for good causes, they speak their truth and stand out and be counted, so that other people can see that and think, well, I'm going through that, and use them as sort of like a motivation for their own lives. And I think that's important as well. And obviously, Chris, that's what you've been doing with your wonderful book. I think you've got this lovely healing way about you, and I noticed it the first time I met you. I thought, wow, I like this man. And we've got to know each other over the past year, and you're a wonderful ambassador for the spirit world. You really are, and it's been so lovely to get to know you and Sarah, your lovely wife, over the past few months since we met. So you go and you inspire more people and get people to read that book and do your stuff, because it's important, that you do your thing. It really is.
Thank you, Karen. I'll give you your money later.
You know what?
Oh, I don't know.
I think for me, the truth of it is, it's always been a case, and I've always been a very strong believer of, it ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. And to take something that can be negative, can be, yes, it is a song. Richard don't miss much. Yes, I quote songs and science fiction all the time. I don't care. You know, recycling material is what I do. But the point of it all is that by taking a situation that could be quite destructive for, you know, people's lives, to give yourself that healing in that work that you have done, and give people not so much a route map per se sometimes, but just this huge glaring lamp on the horizon that says there is a way forward, there is a way out of this, is hugely important. And if I may, you know, add to the flannel and the love, Chris and I, we must have known each other a number of years, but it's usually like once or twice a year that we'll spend a couple of hours together. You know, that is the nature of the relationships you can build in this way of life when you have someone come. So I have never known you to be anything other than truly genuine, caring, and compassionate. And, you know, Karen's right. You do have a very healing demeanor about you. And of all the comments that I've seen, you know, and that they have been flowing in, thank you, everyone. The theme of it all is healing is the most important thing. And I don't know what you think, Chris. I think it's the most underrated, underutilized, underappreciated aspect of our way of life. It's almost like sometimes it's a bolt on, isn't it? Or a, you know, oh, we mustn't forget this bit. But healing is at the core of every single method of mediumship and everything that we do. And through reading the book, it's obvious to anyone with, you know, half an inkling of emotion that it was a very healing process for you. But it can be that Kickstarter for other people's healing, and that's why I love it so much. And you know, it does reach down your throat and grab at your heartstrings, but in an appropriate, in a right, and in an effective way. And I think that should be the core of all healing that we do. So I take my hat off and doff it to you, sir, because it is really important that we remember these lessons.
Thank you very much. I've always been, you know, I think what isn't taught and should be taught to every would-be medium and medium alike is we are healers, but we do it with words.
Yes.
And the impact of those words can make or break. We have to understand that. We have to remember that, you know, because we have such a direct impact with the recipient. Your word of healing, which it should first and foremost always be, reaches the brain and the heart immediately, and it's dealt with there, and so then can influence the soul, you know. So I don't, you know, this medium, yes, it's wonderful to have that title, but essentially we're healers, because we can start that process not only for your recipient. Let us not forget the spirit world, because yes, there are those in the spirit world that want to make contact with their loved one, and they need some of that healing too. Their contact is to actually help them move on or heal, you know, or whatever their needs are. So let's not forget that, you know, that is the most important thing. I would also say, you know, for all those that are going through a lot of negativity in their life, that you know, pain, whatever it is, if we can just take a little step back, there will be a positive in there somewhere, but we got to choose whether we see that. You know, the way that I look at things now is, can I do anything about this situation at this moment? No. Put it aside until such time I can. If I can do it with it and it is painful, well, you know what? Painful it must be. I'll do it now, because that's part of my learning. That's part of my journey. And if we can just change our mindset, you know, to try and see, you know, what light there is there, because there will be a little glimmer. Might be the tiniest little speck of light, but it's there.
Amen to that.
I love your philosophy, Chris. I really do. You know, it's your philosophy on life, and it comes from the heart. And you can feel it. You can really feel it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing that. You know, I could listen to you all morning.
Yeah. In actual fact, Kelly Rocket, bless her heart, she said, yeah, I just feel extra healing being in Chris's presence. You know, we really should bottle you, because it's just, for me, I think it's, there we go. Kelly Rocket said, I feel like I'm getting an extra healing with Chris's presence, butterfly and prayer. And it's because, for me personally, I think it's the honesty and the absolute obviousness in your tone that you get it, you've been there, you've dealt with it. I loved what you said about, you know, can I deal with it now? No, then put it to one side until you can. We humans, we go into those polarized moments. It's got to be one thing, it's got to be the other, quite often forgetting there are those alternatives in between. And that is what I get from you, Chris, is don't just be polarized in yes, no, or maybe, but go to those various different shades, because let's face it, life isn't black and white, it is shades. And you've got to respond to shade with shade. And you know, it comes through not only in your book but also in your words and your behaviors, and I think people respond to that. I think people respond to that.
You know, when you said there of shade, that put me very much in mind of what my guide actually said to me, because I was very fortunate when I was a young man. I'd sat in physical circles, trance circles, you know, I was a trance medium at one time. And my guide actually said, when I said, this was his answer, I asked, why is everything so black? Why is this black, you know, in my life? And this really got me in the heart. I've never forgotten it, when he said to me, black in your world is so very different in ours, because the blacks you see isn't the true colors. It doesn't exist in your world, but in our world, it is the most beautiful color that you can ever imagine, that goes beyond your recognition. Because you cannot register that or acknowledge that at this present time, it will appear to be black, but never, ever be afraid of it at all.
That's quite powerful, isn't it?
Amen. Amen.
We're in an emotional healing vibe today, but do you know what? Sometimes we need it. The world definitely needs it. There's probably lots of people on sptv that need it at this moment in time. Sometimes we need just to listen and to grow from those words, and we're definitely listening and having a wonderful healing experience today.
I actually think it's a good time, because look, it's pre-Christmas, isn't it? You know, and let's be honest here, Christmas is a wonderful time, and family and everything and all that it encompasses for quite a few people. Let's not forget there are a lot of people also that Christmas is not a good time for.
I know.
And this healing show, as you put it, wonderful, can help give them a little bit of aspiration, a little bit of hope, you know, something to cling on to.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
Absolutely, and we're going to have a bit of a change of pace, of course. This has been a wonderful start to the show, Chris, and I know that there are so many people at home that have, been touched by what you have said, and we're going to take a moment to, get ourselves together, refresh ourselves, refill our glasses. And everyone at home, it's time for the lovely Kate May. So for the first time today, Karen, what time is it?
It is Roland Richard time.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Kate May, Modern Day Mystic. Welcome to your week ahead for the 27th of November for each zodiac sign. Okay, we have Aries kicking off. Happy ever after. 10 of Cups, Aries. This is going to be a great week for you, particularly around families, particularly around success, things that you've been working on. There's fulfillment, there's completion, and you should be feeling A-OK, Aries. This card brings happiness. This card brings great joy in everything that you're going to be doing this week. Okay, Taurus. Good news is coming for you, Taurus, and surprise news. There may be things that are unexpected on its way to you. Could be offers of opportunity, perhaps with love, perhaps with emotional connections there, and spiritual connections, creative nature. So take these opportunities that come in for you. Gemini. Stand in your own power, Gemini. This week you might have to fight what you believe in. Fight for what you believe in. You might have to stand your own ground. Now, there could be some opposition, there could be some challenges here, but it's important that you stick to your guns, that you fight for what you believe in, because this card is called Winning the Battle. Cancerian, happy families, the Sun, a week of joy, a week of happiness, a week of enjoying fun, freedom. It's a yes card, lots of energy around you, Cancerians this week, particularly connected to your inner child and creative energy and anything to do with families or younger people. Leo. Whole new world opens up for you this week, Leo. Loose ends are tied up, things come to a conclusion, things come full circle, and you're ready to start a whole new chapter. Virgo, reassess everything this week, Virgo. Look at where you are putting your time and where you're putting your energy. What's important this week? And maybe prioritize things. Now, you're going to need patience this week. Something bigger and better is on its way for you this week, Virgos, but it is part of reevaluating what's important and where your goals are. Libra, new chapters coming this week for you, Libra. Taking a bit of a risk could pay off for you. New ventures, things that I want to say, just get up and go for it. Feel the fear and do it anyway this week, Libra. Scorpio, hold on to your money a little bit this week, Scorpio. You might need to rein things in a little bit. Perhaps you're saving up for Christmas there. This week, you're going to need to just be careful about what comes in and what goes out, particularly on a financial situation there. Don't block yourself completely, though. Let a little bit of a flow there, so you can have a little bit of in and out, but try not to be too over generous. Sagittarius, trust your gut feeling, Saggies, this week. It's time to really listen to your gut instincts. Look out for symbols and signs around you as well, particularly from the spirit world. So numbers repeating, you might see birds and butterflies, animal symbols coming around you. But ultimately, trust your gut feeling, because something might be hidden going on and only you know, feel what it is. Capricorn, the King of Swords. This is a week to get good advice. Maybe seek advice from a solicitor, from a lawyer. Maybe you need to detach yourself from an emotional situation where you've got to use your logic this week. Could be a doctor or a important somebody who is at the top of their game, coming in to help you, to guide you, to advise you. This week it is important, though, that you don't get emotionally drawn into things, Capricorn, that you use your head and you make logical decisions. Aquarius. Time out this week, Aquarius. Time to really think about what it is that you want to do going forward. All your hopes and dreams, things that are in a little box, Aquarius. This is the week to think, how can you get those magic ideas, magic things happening now? So reflect over where you've been, how far you've gone, and what it is you want to do next. A little bit of time out, meditation would be really good for you. And Pisces, you are heading into victorious waters now. You're overcoming difficulties, overcoming problems. You're going to start to feel that you're back on track of things. You're going to start to feel that you're making headway. Staying focused, not being distracted is going to be really important for you this week, Pisces. So it's going to be important that you stay focused on your goal as you overcome these challenges. Good news is coming with somebody positive coming back into your life, where again, you can overcome hurdles there. Have a fabulous week, everyone. If you want to contact me, you can get me on www.katemay.co.uk.
Yeah. Oh, we're back. Well, we're sort of back. There we are.
Oh, we are. We're back.
We're sort of back. Hello, everyone. That was a bit unusual. There we go. Well, hello again, everyone. We're back. We hope you enjoyed your tarot reading. Yes, I'm pretty sure too. Well, there we are. So, welcome back, fam. Let's move very swiftly on there. Thank you very much to Kate May. I have it on very good authority that in a certain amount of time, I'm not going to be specific, we are going to be having a live conversation with the lovely Kate May.
How
And
exciting.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Definitely.
It's going to be awesome. Just like you all are at home having your conversations about Chris's work and Chris's book. This is a magazine show. We do various different things. Obviously, you've just had your tarot scope, weekly feature. Come on. We also have the lovely Chris is still with us. And we're going to have our adverts later on as well. But of course, now is the time to feel the spirit and
Absolutely.
see who's about in the world of spirit to join this lovely group of people. So, you want to go first, Karen? Ladies first?
Okay. Right. I have a mum here with me. And I know that she passed with a cancer condition. But she's also, I think it must be to do with the emotion that we've been talking about here. I just feel with this lovely mum that sometimes she found it very difficult to voice her emotions. I feel that she couldn't always speak her truth, say what she felt. And there was a lot of emotion, and I do feel she had it quite tough in her life when she was younger. Does anybody understand this at the moment? I'm just looking at Angela. I know that I know you, but can you just said that you can take that, because I just feel that this lady couldn't speak. She would get too emotional to actually speak what she wanted to say. And I found that, so we've got Krish and also Angela can take this. And I just feel that there was definitely a cancer condition. And I just feel that she just wants, and I feel that she's been through from the spirit world before, and I feel that she's starting to sort of heal. And I also feel that she's very proud of you for your achievements, because I just feel that this lady, she kept it all down. She kept all those emotions down. And I feel that you don't. So, Krish, can you understand this? All right. Okay. You can understand this, because I just, and Margaret too. All right. Okay. So would you, so right now, would you understand that she either passed around this time or closer to Christmas? I want the end of November or closer to Christmas. Right, so you can understand that, Angela. All right then, well, let me, I know I do know you, and Krish can understand it as well. I want to say it's actually around, I want to say that the passing, or when she really took a dive with her health, and they're her words, not mine, is this week. I feel it's a big anniversary coming up. So, Krish, can you understand that? Because that's going to be my pinnacle thing to get that person. I want from the 25th, which was yesterday, to the 30th, where it was just a really, really tough time. And this lady loved Christmas, and I feel that she was hanging on and hanging on for her last Christmas, and she knew it was going to be her last Christmas. So I know that is also important. She's getting excited now, because she she's pushing those emotions away slightly, but she knows that you found Christmas difficult over the past few years that she's not been around. But she wants you to get excited because she's showing me the tree. So I know the tree was very important to her. And there's some ornaments on this tree that she had. And they're those beautiful ornaments that can be, that if you drop them, they would smash. They're the old-fashioned ornaments. And I just feel that she had these ornaments in a box. So I've got these beautiful Christmassy, very delicate Christmas ornaments, and I just feel that someone still has them, and it was almost like these ornaments go on the tree in memory of her. Now I do feel, I want to say it's mum, so it's definitely mum. Right, okay. It's the ornaments. Who's got the ornaments? That's what I feel here. It's the Christmas ornaments. They're the ones that are very, very difficult. So whoever can take the Christmas ornaments on the tree, that's the person that I'm with. Because I'm seeing them and I can feel them in my hands. And she's taking me back to when you were a child. And it's like you can't touch the ornaments when you were little, because she was frightened because they were so fragile that they would break. So I do feel that these Christmas ornaments have been around a long time. I also feel right. So you can understand the ornaments, right? Okay. Okay. It's definitely these ornaments that I want to go. So you have glass Christmas. Oh gosh. Okay. Big ball. Right, Krish. That's what I want. I have the ornaments, big balls, shiny. That's what I'm seeing. Krish, I'm going to stick with you. So I also feel that she's now giving me something that I absolutely love to eat at Christmas, and that's Christmas cake. But there was this recipe is not in a book. It was written. It's like this piece of paper is a little bit dog-eared and a bit brown, because I feel this Christmas cake recipe she had written down, and it looks as if, some sugar's spelt on it and things like that. She wants you, Krish, to really enjoy this Christmas and to get the ornaments out, put everything on the tree, because I can feel this tree is just awash with ornaments and lights and tinsel, the whole shebang. And she really wants you to enjoy this Christmas, and don't get sad, because you've got sad today. She knows. She says you got very sad today. Don't get sad. Remember, and she wants you to move forward to Christmas. She's talking there. We haven't got this shop anymore, but she's talking about Woolworths. So there must be a memory of Woolworths, going into the pick and mix, and I'm in Woolworths. It was a shop I loved as a kid. And she's in Woolworths. She said, remember the fun we used to have in Woolworths. And she would have bought you as a child ladybird vests, because I'm seeing the ladybird underwear you always had. She always gave you the best that she could. So she's just coming forward to give you so much love for this anniversary. Don't be sad. Be proud of who you are, and have a fabulous Christmas.
Wow. Yeah. Wonderful. And apparently Woolworths still does exist some places in the world.
Oh, does it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently so. So wonderful. Thank you. What a wonderful, wonderful, emotional. There you go. There's your proof.
Ah.
We have Woolworths in South Africa. Boom.
Amazing.
Boom. That confirms that you were in the right direction. Wow. Beautiful. So, Krish, it's a trip to Woolies for you, my love. If you do go, I'll have a bag of those strawberry jujus. And Sam B says that they still have Woolworths too.
Oh, that's good.
So we're the ones that just don't have it. It's just
Oh,
not
no,
fair.
sad.
I miss
Sad.
that pick and mix. I really, really
So
do.
do I.
Well
So
done,
do I.
Dole. Thank you for a wonderful reading there. I suppose I better earn my keep now then. So, right. Thank you. Yes, of course. As I reconnect, I did start linking in. I did start linking in a moment ago. The person that's coming through is absolutely fascinated by the Woolworths conversation. It has to be said. You know, it's quite funny the things that they latch onto and pick up on. But as I you know, reset and restart, I've got this gentleman stepping forward. He's a tale of two people, and it's really quite interesting because again, I feel like I'm tying in with our theme of the day in relation to healing and personal growth and personal evolution. He's two very different people in one bag, and I feel that it's very interconnected. I do feel this gentleman was a fatherly, grandfatherly connection. I do feel this gentleness of soul, but I also feel this huge personality that orbits around that with such great humor and upliftment and laughter. And sometimes, thank you, using me as a reference there, sometimes it could be a bit obviously overpowering in a sense that it was covering for things, and it was always his way of diverting that healing process away from himself because he did things in his own way. He was a man very much of his own pace, his own time. I am feeling problems around my throat and neck, so I know that there would have been something that would have impacted and affected him before he passed, whether it was his you know, whether it was actually his condition of passing or something that would have had a profound influence on him. It was still something that was really, really affecting of his life. And it I feel very tight around the throat, and this is also an emotional thing. He would have struggled to speak. He would have struggled to, you know, communicate. And I'm just, this whole part of me is just feeling really, really cruddy with this connection to begin with. If anyone can, oh, hello. Not reading at all, you know, I should pay more attention. Kelly Rocket says grandfather had brain damage. If couldn't speak his truth properly. That was the real thing for me, and it is this tale of two people. Kelly, if I could work with you on this one, if you don't mind, because I can feel my throat going, and it's almost like I know we're getting to the bit where we need to speak about emotions, and I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And Kaylee can relate to this as well. So, oh, hello. So let's see. With this gentleman, thank you. I can definitely feel something here that would have been physical, and I've literally got to rub there like that. Whether that could have been lymph nodes or something to do with the throat, I can feel my voice going with this gentleman. Bear with me. Back. But it is also about that huge covering with humor and taking the mick. I know that. Yes, thank you for that. He just said, I'll be gentle with you because I know that his sense of humor could occasionally be a little bit blue. So he's going to tone it down for me today, just so that I don't get into any more trouble than I already am. But thank you, of course, he's referencing what Chris was talking about earlier in his way of relating things. He would have been able to have resonated with that because it was honest and up front. What he didn't like was okay, it really is have a go at Nick Day today. He didn't like the bumptious religious stuff that I spout. You know, thank you, Kelly, for your honesty. Not with you anymore. This is important to him. So Kaylee, would you understand that he was more of the open, upfront conversation rather than the religious bump that I come out with? And it's wonderful, really, because he's so honest and so kind with it. He could say what he wanted to say and get away with it because it was just so genuine. And even though he's having a pop at me and having a laugh with me, I don't take any offense by it, because that is the way he was. And he could get away with so much with his beautiful honesty. And people, there would have been people that took offense, but he really didn't give it a second thought, because the people that understood what he was saying understood what he was saying, and being understood was really, really important. And it's about bringing that humor back in. For him, it helped him, even though people thought it was mostly about covering it up, and hiding things. It actually wasn't. When he saw people laughing, he was laughing. When he saw people uplifted, he was uplifted. And it gave him that joy in life to be able to be raised up by raising other people up. And in his way, that was how he healed himself. Yes, he was very straight to the point, but you could laugh at him over it, as it was just him. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely feel this is that kind of personality come through. The reason he's coming through today is because he wants to remind you of that humor and that upliftment in your position and situation in life, in relation to how the conversation has touched your heart and your soul. He wants to remind you that oh, thank you. I'm reminded of an old saying. Humor is better than pills for what ails you sometimes. And it is about learning and growing and evolving, as I said right at the beginning. He never told us how bad he felt when he was sick, but he was always a barrel of laughs. And this is that evolution and that growth. It's about being honest as well as using humor. He would have, should have, could have, but he's not the kind of person for woulda, coulda, shoulda, and I won't do it. He says, I will not woulda, coulda, shoulda. I make choices. I did what I thought was right and best at the time, and I'm not gonna hide away or shy from that. And I think that is really important. But what he is saying is that it's always a good thing to make sure that you learn from it, for the future. And so what he's telling me is, when you're feeling low, have a good laugh, have a good giggle, but talk. Talk is important. Honesty is important. Communication is important. If ever there was a theme of the day, that has got to be it. About, as Chris said earlier, looking at the layers of life and learning from it and growing from it, but do it with that light in your heart and that laughter. And I know this gentleman is willing you forward with that humor and that upliftment. And he says, remember there's something unique about the way he laughed. There's something different or memorable about the way he laughed that I've got to mention. And I also have to mention about the anniversary, not at the end of the year, but at the beginning of the year, coming up next year. He says it's all about new beginnings, and not resolutions. They never work, he says. But about there's something important about January and an anniversary in it that is a good anchor point for a new beginning. And his voice is starting to go again, because once again I feel he's trying to avoid the topic of conversation. He wants to remind you that as much as he wasn't always honest about his feelings, the one thing that he was absolutely certain of was his joy when you lit up the room. He really does see you as a beacon of light and love and laughter in this world, and he wants you to remember that and take that with you wherever you go. And on that note, I'll say God bless you, and hope that was all right for you, Kaylee.
Oh, that was lovely, Nick. Lovely message. He sounded a lovely man. And a lovely message there for us. Yeah. I think it's wonderful when the spirit world pass on their words of wisdom. Don't do what I did. You've got to do what I now see that is the right thing to do. Yeah, I love that. Okay. Lovely.
Do you need to have a go now, or?
Yeah, if you want to.
Definitely.
I'm not promising anything. I've had a full-on week, but here we go. So, while I was sat there and I was listening to both of you here, I got the strong essence of a lady that wants to come forward here. Beautiful soul, I have to say, because as she was talking here to me, she was literally singing jingle bells, and she loved Christmas. She loved that song. But as it showed me a sense of humor, because as she was singing, the song was jingle bells, but my last bell had tolled. So I got the feeling that she wouldn't have quite made the Christmas, or it was her last Christmas here. I know I want around the 21st, the 20th, 21st, 22nd of December. This would absolutely mean quite a lot for anniversary, but also I want birthdays here too. Now, she is a beautiful soul, I have to say, and she would be the light of a lot of people's lives, but there would be this thing about making this particular time, this last Christmas, very important. It would be that I want to give you a happy memory. So have we got anybody with that?
Yes, Margaret said that Jingle Bells is her favourite song. There you go.
Okay, Jingle Bells. Okay, Margaret. But would you understand this lady passing in around the Christmas time, please? Okay. Oh, the 22nd. This looks good here. 22nd. So there's the dates.
My gran died November the 22nd of December was her wedding anniversary, and
2nd of December. Granddad's birthday, because I know I had the birthdays in the December here. I want to say that this lady had I am saying this lady had a fantastic sense of humor that would be quite on the dry side, but also could quite poke a lot of fun at you as well. And she tells me here that she was, as I say, a lovely soul, but quite a serious person too. There would be this aspect of her that nothing would actually get past her. You know, whether she chose to acknowledge it or not was totally up to her. You know, and Jingle Bells, we all the time. So we sang all the time of Jingle Bells. That's brilliant, because I know that this was a song that she absolutely loved here. But I also want to talk about Frank Sinatra. She would have loved Frank Sinatra. She would have loved all these old films that he would have done. I didn't know the name. I really hadn't got any knowledge of his films, I'm afraid. But the message she wants to put across here is, yes, I know what you're going through. I know the pain and the anguish that you are feeling at this moment in time. But she says, this too will pass. This too will pass. Have faith. Have faith in yourself, your strength, and your ability. I also want to say, she says, yes, we have got him. So there must have been a passing of a gentleman not too long ago, because I really need to say he's okay. She's saying here that he's doing fine here. He's doing fine. So a gentleman must have passed here, and I'm feeling very father-like. So this could be father or grandfather, please. Brilliant. Okay. Can I stick with stay sure, please, for a moment? Because I really do feel as though I'm drawn to you. And all of this information feels correct for me too. But there also I need to say the name Alice or Alison as well would be important. I also want to connect with Auntie Margaret, please, too, if you can understand that. It's not as quick as it. I was waiting for an answer there, but it's not as quick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Before she passed, I know that this lady would have already been organising Christmas. She would have also had presents ready, wrapped, and I get the feeling they were hidden here, there, and everywhere. And there should be also, Alice is the family name, and also is brilliant. I also know that there would be 2 presents for one person, literally because she'd forgot she bought the first one. She tells me here. So there would have been 2 presents for the one person. Beautiful soul here, really, really very, very giving. And she, by the way, she loved, who loves their panettone bread? Because I'm getting the panettone bread here, would have loved it. And also, I do feel there would have been a great love of Italy within the family. I'm not saying there was Italian in the family, but I know there was a great love of Italy too. And really, this is very random also of everything. I also want to talk about, I do think we're talking about you here as a person of saying, I'm running away, because I want to go talk about running away to join up with the circus. And I do believe you would have been quite young to do when you said this. And her personality shows me that she was crossing her arms and saying, well, go on then, away you go. You know, there she would be. She wouldn't take any nonsense. Away you go, away you go. And the lovely the lovely lady here, I wish you could see inside my head. She'd keep showing me a very large pair of knickers. There would be a joke about her knickers that being so large that you could probably parachute with them. She showed him a head, but this was her. But this was her sense of humor, the way she was, down to earth. I know that she talks about a coal fire and loving her coal fire, especially at Christmas, because she just set the scene, the ambience here. And oh, brother, laugh aloud, my brother went away to the travelling fair. We weren't far off, you know. Kicking us up there. Okay, you let me have one, will you? Thank you. All right. And she shows me this lovely open fire. She was not she had no airs and graces. Up went the skirt, warming my bottom on the fire, because she liked to feel the heat. And yes, she says I had the chilblains to match on her legs too. Down to earth, really, really honest as the day is long here. But it's this Christmas here that she knows that she still talked about. I know at Christmas we talk about this of the family getting together on the Christmas and time, and here sausage rolls. Somebody loved their sausage rolls rather than their actual Christmas dinner. She says here, she talks about a lovely sausage roll, and I can taste it in my mouth here. I know it's very fatty as I get that taste also. And my goodness here, I don't think she's telling the truth, but she said she was teetotal as she's holding up a very large glass of something and toasting you all. But she wants just for you to enjoy yourself now, enjoy the Christmas, and let go of the past. Let us look to the future, because you have a very bright future. Find the positivity that surrounds you, that is under your nose, she says, and keep going forward, because you have her strength, you have her tenacity. How can you fail? And I'll leave you with that. God bless.
Brilliant. Wonderful.
Oh,
Wonderful.
that was beautiful, Chris. Absolutely beautiful.
I don't know whether you saw the comment, but her grandmother was a bit of a Bridget Jones with the baggy underwear. And I thank you for mentioning the sausage rolls there. I love sausage rolls, Stay says, but not allowed them anymore. And she had she loved tea but had cherry at Christmas. So there we are. Yeah,
Oh,
and Margaret Anderson, yes, could take around 90% of what was said. So sometimes I know people might think it's a cliche, but spirit are a lot cleverer than we are. Sometimes when people come together to a medium and find that they are similar, they will piggyback off each other to let you know that they are there too, because like attracts like. So Margaret, I'm absolutely certain that there would have been some piggybacking going on with your connection too, just to let you know that she is there as well. And I've got to say, your description of pastry is the right one, because proper sausage roll pastry is made with flour, water, milk, and lard. So I am. Thank you for that memory.
You know, you said something there that is very, very important, Nick, and it's not said in our churches anymore like it used to do when I was young 1,000 years ago. When they always used to say, listen to each and every message. You know, you may not want to receive one tonight or today, but something in that message will resonate with you and is meant only for you. Yes. We cannot get through to you to talk to you, but we will talk to you through this method.
Absolutely. I agree, Chris. I really do.
Definitely.
You know, they are so we are going to have a question Richard has found for us. I did write it down in case he forgot, but I knew he wouldn't. So we have a question. This is the one on the screen, yeah, Richard? Yeah. So Kelly Elliott says, early hours of this morning, I was in bed and I heard somebody whistling, and I wake up with nobody there, and the house went freezing cold. Now, for me, that's a big ding dong bell. That final phrase there. What are your thoughts on this, guys?
Karen?
I must admit, sometimes I do, when spirit are around me, especially when I first started sitting in circle, the temperature changes in the room all the time. You know, sometimes and when people say, oh, I've got goosebumps, it's like shivers and goosebumps and it's sort of like that acknowledgement. And I do think the energy can change. It can go cold, it can go warm as well. There can be a lot of heat in the room. And also when we're going back to the healing as well, sometimes people feel the heat, some people feel the cold when they're working. So yes, and the spirit, as we've said already, spirit will let you know that they are around. And also somebody whistling. Quite often I've heard things and I'm thinking, was that really what I heard? And I know we had this conversation a few weeks ago, didn't we, Nick, about, you know, feathers coming in the room, make sure windows aren't open and things like that. But sometimes it's that knowing, and yes. you can't really, when you know it, it's right. So there's lots of scenarios. People can say, oh, it was this, it was that, but for me, it's the knowing.
I would agree with you, and I'd say that this is with the freezing cold, as you said before, it can be heat or cold, but 99.9% of the time it's the freezing cold, and that's the actual ding dong bell there. What this is the psychic energy. It's what they use. It's the power that surrounds you, your home, you know, and the very aspect of your life. And the spirit will often use that, and that is what then that makes that cold. The whistling is just an acknowledgement that they're there, you know. And I would say to you here, Kelly, that somebody is definitely like saying to you here, wake up and listen, wake up and listen. I'm here for you.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with everything both of you have said, and I will add my small 10 penneth. I totally agree. I always remember, you know, Lynn, when I sat in circle, you know, spirit is very cold. It's to do with the change in frequency and pressure and the use of that spirit and psychic and spiritual energies that surrounds us. And when the pressure changes and the vibration changes, it does create a sudden drop. I remember when I used to watch that movie, The Sixth Sense, the one thing they got absolutely right was when spirit are around, it's cold, and not when they're angry. It's just when they're there. For me, the whistling is also a telltale sign. It reminds me of something. And I know Kelly has just said, I have a paranormal gift. I'm reminded of when we were on Saturday, I touched on it. When I was a teenager, I experienced some very strange phenomena when I was in bed, when I was in my room, when the world was quiet and I was on my own. And it's how you handle it that matters for me, because I didn't do very well with that, and it upset me and it caused me a lot of difficulty. But only through education and learning and development and growth did I find my way out of that difficulty, to realize that it was an amazing experience that I actually went through, not a negative one. And it was the beginnings of a change in my spiritual development and growth. And, you know, you've got to think of when people whistle at you, they're trying to get your attention. And,
True.
you know, it is literally someone sitting there saying, I'm here. Embrace that wonderful gift and embrace these wonderful experiences. And Eunice has just said, Eunice Spink says, shivers down the spine as confirmation also. So yeah, definitely there's a shift going on in your abilities, and everything that Karen and Chris said, I back up. But I've had that in that situation. I've had that personally, that I was referencing on Saturday. This is your opportunity to take that moment, take that experience, and as Chris said right at the beginning, decide what you are going to do with it.
Exactly. It's funny, as you were talking, I'm when I came into the room to work, I thought I won't put my cardigan on because I'm hot.
Yeah.
Now I'm sitting here freezing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world. I've got a blanket ready because I know what it's like.
There you go, there you go, Kelly. There's real confirmation. He looks like he's sunning himself in a wonderful warm room with his t-shirt on. He's got a blanket with him. There you go. And Helen Mansell, yes, that's a very a very good point there. The feeling of cobwebs on your face is a sign that and I don't know what your thoughts, Karen and Chris, are. One of the things that my mentor told me is that not only is that a sign of spirit being close, it's also an indicator of a possible potential, should you so wish it, of potentially becoming a physical medium. And this is another thing we don't talk about in this way of life very often anymore. It's pretty much been swept under the carpet, and I get many of the reasons why, but we should still acknowledge it. For me, that was always, I was told, a sign that there is the potential for being a physical medium there. What are your thoughts on the cobwebs?
I mean, again, all these things happened to me in circle. Which was, you know, it was sign. I look at it now as sort of signs from spirit. I mean, in the first circle that I was in, I was very fortunate. There was a lot of phenomena that happened in that circle because the circle was run by a trance medium. You know, so she used to quite often go into trance. So I was very fortunate enough to see good trance in a very early on in my development, and quite often the temperatures would change around the room. It would go cold, then it would go warm. The spirit world would do that all the time, and I would sit there thinking, why do I feel somebody's just cracked an egg over my head? You know, that feeling where somebody would pretend to crack an egg over your head and you'd feel. And I used to think, why is there cobwebs in my face? And I suppose I didn't know at that time what was going on, because it was a new circle, but all this phenomena was happening. But it's only now, and it's odd because I don't get it so much now as what I did in the beginning. But I think these are all signs of spirit saying, sometimes when we're new, we need something tangible, something to acknowledge that the spirit are in the room, that they're close to us, because we think, are they? And so that's what they did in this particular circle. They used to come close and let us know that they were there. So it is a good indicator, I think, that things are happening around you, and you've got the potential to do whatever you want to do within your mediumship. Yeah. So it's interesting.
I'd quite agree. I mean, let's take it back to the bare bones here. Look at the mediumship. Look what spirit do. Isn't it a miracle?
Yes,
it's a miracle. And somehow I think we've taken the miracle out of it in nowadays. And I think we need to squarely put that back. This is a miracle happening now. It's magical. Magic exists really with this. If you look at what they're doing here, you see, I was very fortunate as well. I've sat in trance circles and in my own circle, and I did trance mediumship as well. And, another way for us with the trance was there would literally be a wind whizzing round from our knees down to our feet. Yes. There would be that. So you had that. The cobwebs on the face, definitely a sign here. It can be a sign of transfiguration that could occur. It is a soft way of acknowledging, you and your abilities, that spirit are there. Why does these things happen? Well, because let's look at us. We live in a dense vibration. We're very ignorant, really, in a lot of things, human beings. We have only 5 physical senses. So spirit trying to accommodate that for us, and try to, this is why physical mediumship was so prevalent years ago, was because that's what they needed. They needed to see it, they needed to hear it, to acknowledge that it was true, whereas we're a little bit more, have more faith, more understanding and knowledge than they did, but we still need that sign. I often say to mine, come on, just give me a sign, and I'm waiting there looking at there all the while they're tapping the other shoulder, to get you to acknowledge. And that just shows sometimes, we have to be open. We have to be open to it and stop, please. If you want to be acknowledged, the acknowledgement spirit, let it do it on their terms, not on yours. Be open, because your terms are very limiting. So just be open, allow it. They will speak to you in a whole myriad of ways. All we have to do is be open to that. Just be open. That's all we need to do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Karen. Absolutely agree. I hope everyone enjoyed that as much as I did. We have now got to roll into that moment where it's my turn to mention the VT thing. We're going to take a quick commercial break, let you know what's going on in the SPTV world and family for the next few days. We're going to sit here very quietly, not commenting and watching the adverts this time. And so over to you, Roland Richard.
The SPTV Divine Guidance Oracle Pack, a unique blend of inspiration and artistic beauty. Our captivating set of 78 cards combines the power of ancient archetypes, celestial guidance, and the essence of life itself to provide you with a unique tool for self-discovery, clarity, and transformation, all lovingly housed within an exclusive rigid box. The pack includes a booklet that delves into every card in detail, some of which carry dual meanings for deeper interpretation. The booklet also features 8 distinctive card spread layouts. Among these treasures, you'll discover 22 major arcana, 9 main archangels, 4 elements, and 40 life cards, each a work of art, radiating beauty and delivering profound messages that resonate deeply within your being. The sptv Divine Guidance Pack, where beauty meets enlightenment. Pre-order today and unlock the extraordinary wisdom that awaits you. To be among the pioneers in experiencing our forthcoming collection and to reserve your pack in advance, as well as to access more details, including a sample audio description, kindly visit sptv.uk/cards.
MySpiritualDirectory.com is one of the fastest growing online free listing service. Our search directory offers geolocation feature, rating ability, review system, map location, customer comment, YouTube video, gallery, social media sharing, direct contact with the lister, simple online booking and payment system. It's free to register and use. It even creates your own mini web page, which you can update at any time, and yes, it's still free, no monthly or yearly fees. 100% free. Creates your own profile page. Add social media and other links. Add a mini gallery and a YouTube video. Rating, reviews and comments. Includes online booking and payments. So, if you're looking for a medium or a reader, even a church, maybe a healer, or any other spiritual service, then visit myspiritualdirectory.com.
Tonight from 8 p.m, Claire Pasterfield hosts her show, Heavenly Sprinkles, for an evening of mediumship readings.
Tomorrow night from 8 p.m, Deb Clark demonstrates her mediumship by offering free readings.
We are back.
We are back.
We are back. And we are again going to be joined, of course, for the rest of the show with the lovely Chris Jacobs, who's staying with us, bless his heart. And a big hello to everyone watching who are watching for the first time as well. I would like to say, Tony and Adam, I did see your comments. Thank you very much. I will be reading them properly after the show. And yeah, tonight we have got, of course, the lovely Claire Pasterfield. Always a great show. Do come back and watch that. You've also got a special, one of Bill's specials on Thursday night, so you don't want to miss that.
Definitely not.
There's so much going on. Hello to Rona O'Shea from Dublin in Ireland. New to the show. Welcome.
Welcome, Rona.
And Claire Louise Fleischer. I hope I pronounced that right. Another new face. Welcome along. Oh,
Hello, Nicola.
I've never seen your name before. I apologise.
Hello, Nicola. Hello, Kimberly.
Hello, Kimberly.
Nice to see you.
And of course, we'd better mention that the app is still going through its own personal evolution.
It is, yes. Eternal progress, open to every app.
Yes, right. Well, in spite of what I said, we were briefly chatting during the commercial break. Eternal progress open to every artificial intelligence. So we should not be afraid of the change. Yes, I'm going to say the artificial intelligence will be an extension of those who create it, much in the same way as a poster or a program or anything. Like Jake, he is AI, and we all know that Jake is modelled after Richard. People say they haven't seen him, but that's just like Richard. You know, when he was younger, about 3 years ago. You know, that's Richard. You know, absolutely. That, you know, it's the secret hidden in plain sight, isn't it? Of course, another secret hidden in plain sight are the cards Come on, people. It's nearly Christmas. Be generous and buy some Oracle cards, the Divine Oracle cards. There was an advert about it in the adverts. They are gorgeous. Please, please,
definitely.
please get your orders in. We are running out of time, and I would like to be holding mine by Christmas.
Me too. Or even New Year.
Or even, yeah, absolutely.
No, it would be nice to have them because they are a beautiful pack of cards, and also the app as well. You know, we've got apps for everything these days, so I think it will be wonderful to have that too. So we're looking forward to that, and I know Richard's been upgrading it and upgrading it and upgrading it, but that's the dedication that he puts into making it just so for all of us to share. Wow.
Right.
We're just listening to some important information that our Nick here is busily writing down,
Scribbling away.
scribbling away to keep you updated.
Remember, there is a new section to the app that many people have been beta testing. The new section in the app is remembrance and healing. So you can send in a picture and a name and a description where you can post people for remembrance, for healing and upliftment. It is open for the option for you to send that in at the moment so that beta test can be utilized. So if you'd like someone featured in that section whilst it's being tested and growing, please send it through to Richard at info@sptv.uk, and then you can have that included in the app as part of the beta testing. A picture and a brief message is what Richard needs. info@sptv.uk, and then you can have that function in the app as well. And I think it's like we said earlier on, healing is so underutilized and unnoticed in this world, and so is remembrance. So let's make good use of it. It's open to everyone watching. Share. Let the world know that they can do it. So there are some questions coming in about the cards. Would we get them before Christmas? Well, it very much depends on if it very much depends on if people hit the target for sales. I mean, my mum bought my pack for my birthday, and that was over a month ago now. But I'm being patient and I'm waiting. But the SPTV Divine Guidance Oracle pack is available at the link Richard just shared. Richard, there was a question about there it is, info@sptv.uk for those communicating the remembrance. Richard, there was a question also about foreign delivery.
Yes, New Zealand.
Absolutely brilliant. So it's all included in the price. If you buy a pack and you are like Tony, my lovely new friend Tony Coppins in Australia, in New Zealand, I do apologize, nearly made boo-boo there. It's included in the price. Yes, you would be able to get them delivered to you. So come on, Australia and New Zealand, make a purchase. We want them at the very least in 2004, but it would be nice to get them this year, is to be honest.
Absolutely.
So looking forward to that. Come on, guys, you can buy them anywhere in the world. I love Christine Davis's comment, lol, if you say so, Nick. I'm not sure which comment that was aimed at. I know it. And there, just as a coincidence, there, Krish mentions that Jake is very sexy. Read into that one, if you will.
Neil's looking forward to having the app because he's got
Yes.
the Android phone, so he's getting excited about that. Yeah. So, yes, we won't mention that I've got an iPhone.
No.
And I can't have it. So
Absolutely.
never mind
Absolutely.
yet.
So there we are. Lots going on. The app, the cards. Claire Pasterfield tonight. You've got the special with Bill on Thursday. It's gonna be an epic week, and it is really, really busy. Somebody just said, "Can I get the deck from Amazon?" No, it is directly from the link that Richard sent out on the comments a few moments ago, because it's all being crowdfunded, so you can order through the crowdfunder. So there we go. Get buying. It's nearly Christmas. Cha-ching.
Absolutely. It's lovely to see all your lovely comments, I have to say. They're making me smile today.
You know what? I've got to say, I did start the day. Well, started my day feeling a little bit flat, a little bit misery gutsish. You know, I couldn't decide what to wear. I was, you know, I went through about 14 different frocks before I decided on this shirt. You know, I was just, I weren't feeling it. But as soon as I joined my lovely SPTV family, I feel uplifted. So thank you also.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Definitely. Yes.
That's what it's all about, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Is that we can do this for each other, you know? And I
Yes.
see and hear so many people who say, you know, gosh, I need guidance, I need this, and other. You know, you want guidance, stop, listen, go into the silence. You will find that guidance within you, not through what Karen, Nick, or I can say to you, you know, or put it through. We can only be very superficial at best. But the guidance, the best guidance you'll ever receive will be from your soul, from those in the spirit who talk to you constantly. And if you can feel that and you can listen to that, its directions will be so subtle, but we can hear them, we can feel them. It's just learning to stop, take stock, be quiet, because this world isn't quiet. We need to sit back from it, just the odd occasion, you know, especially this time of year. Your loved ones want to help you. Your loved ones are with you. Be silent. Be prepared to listen to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Wonderful. Never a more truer word said, Chris. Absolutely agree. For those that are saying that they can't see Richard's comments, it doesn't come up as Richard. It comes up as Spiritual Psychics TV. He's the governor, the host with the most. Producer Richard in our ear, that voice of reason and balance that keeps us steady. And so when you want to, when you see it come up with Spiritual Psychics TV, that is Richard. That is Richard. But you're absolutely right there, Chris. You know, we always moan and moan and moan, and I do. I'm a moaner. Oh, I never hear this. I never hear that. I never. Well, if I actually just stopped for a moment and listened, then I get to hear it. So it's a really, really important reminder. So thank you for that. Really, definitely.
We always want to feel so much within our lives. We want to keep busy. But sometimes if we factor it into our day, just sitting in the quiet, I try to do it first thing in the morning. I try. Yeah. So if we try and put that intention out, then it will happen.
Isn't it so hard? You know, we live in a world that's non-stop and it's getting worse. We know we've got our phones, we've got everything. And if you want to be, if you're a training medium, but even if you just want a better life and you want to actually understand you, then take that half an hour. That's all it is, half an hour out of your day, just to sit and quieten the mind. if nothing else, you'll feel a lot better at the end of it.
Definitely.
But we can gain so much. But how many times, how much time do we get to actually stop and listen?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
We're in a
You know, that's
constant
one.
bombardment, aren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually one of the reasons why it was suggested by one of the mediums that I work with in a group and on a one-to-one basis. Her guide Nicholas actually came through and said, set your equipment to give everyone a silent minute. And it was based on the silent minute during World War II. So every night now on the church page and on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel, there's this video. It comes up 5 minutes before 9:30 with a countdown. And then for just 1 minute at 9:30 every night, everyone can gather together in focus, in thought, in love, in upliftment, in healing, in thoughts of peace, but also, yes, to listen as well. And I think, the more people can gather together in common cause, the greater that machination can be. Although I have to say, I'm still intrigued by that wonderful comment from Serendipity, who said that Richard is the god of SPTV. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful truth. In a thousand years' time, when they're watching these things, there's going to be the talk of this voiceless being. This voice without physicality that was called the Richard, and that he was worshipped. Well, there is that view that is how pantheons are created anyway. But there's always some truth behind it, just like the existence of Richard. He is very real. When I've said the wrong thing, my eardrums have noticed. I certainly know when I've done that. It's not very often, because he's good at steering us in the right direction.
He is.
It's
yes,
not always.
he is.
Yeah, absolutely. But that it is that literal guidance, isn't it? That we do, if we listen, we get that guidance and direction, and we can choose to listen, or we can choose to go down the wrong route. But spirit will always, just like the Richard, it will always guide us in a way that is appropriate for the moment, for the time, and meant with with love and truth and light. And I think.
Oh, that'd be good.
Right.
Shall we all three link in and give? Because I've
well, mediumship is experimental, as I say.
A triple link.
Absolutely.
A triple link.
I mean, the more I've worked with Karen, the more I've gotten used to being able to nosy in on what she's doing, and I've shared for you myself as well, Chris. I feel quite comfortable doing that, because I'm among friends, and that's the condition of a good experiment, is among friends. So, who wants?
Do you want me to start? Okay, because I even before. Pardon, sorry, what was that again? Okay, all right then. Okay. So while we've been sitting here, I am aware of a gentleman that draws close to me from the world of spirit, and I don't get this very often, but I have got a name, and I don't know if it's a name of somebody that is here or if it's somebody in the spirit world, but this name has been with me for a little while, and it's Peter Marshall. So I don't know if anybody can understand the name Peter Marshall, but I just feel that this is connected somewhere. I just feel that this gentleman was a little bit of he loved to talk, and he's been listening to what we've been talking about here, and I do feel he had problems with his heart, but I also feel towards the end of his life he was a little bit hard of hearing, because I do feel some problem around my ears, but he was a little bit reluctant, I want to say, to actually have a hearing aid, because he didn't want to admit that he needed it. I feel that he was quite a physically fit man, because I feel that he was strong, and I feel that he loved to be out and about, and he would have known people. And I feel that he must have lived in a small, what we would class in England as like a market town. It's not a huge town, but it's a small place where he would go about his business and he would be known within the vicinity of where he lived. And I do also feel that he would be very eloquent, and he would use sort of good, he was good with words, I want to say, and manners were very, very important to him. So I don't know if this makes sense to anybody at the moment, or if the boys want to jump in with anything. Nick looks like he might have something, or Chris.
Yeah. While you were talking about that, I got also he was a very stubborn man. I do feel that it would be easier to get a donkey to go and drink water than it would to move him. I also want to say with him too that he was quite a well presented man. He did like his collar and his tie, you know, especially for being seen out in public, you know, when he, but otherwise quite relaxed at home. I really got a strong sense here that I also want to connect with John, and I would have enjoyed a nice drink of Mackinson. Is that a drink? Because I heard, I didn't know whether it was, well, I heard pint of Mackinson. I don't know if you can get that, but that's what I heard.
You can.
And I did feel, as you said, Peter definitely, and Marshall, although I felt for me, Marshall had a connection to business or some place of work with that surname too. Nick, can you follow on?
Yes. When you mentioned about the hearing, I that just suddenly overlapped me, and I felt it very strongly, and it carried on. And I'm aware that there would have been a problem around the sinuses area. I'm feeling very congested. I'm feeling that building up, and I can actually see him and feel him sitting here, and he wouldn't have liked to have given away too much about his health, but I do know that quite often he'd have sat there just doing that as a way of massaging the sinuses and clearing his head. But it would have been done in such a way that it wasn't obvious. And, you know, it's ironic that you say Marshall's being a place of work and talking about a market town. Marshall's is something that I'm aware of. So I would also say that there is something to do with engineering that would connect with that. And it is, as I said, engineering. I can smell the oil and the lubricants and the metal and the workshop in the background, and I feel he would have at his time got his hands dirty. But when you mentioned the collar and tie, it was very much a sense of pride in this development and growth into being, in the words that I was just given, a paper pusher. It was a sense of pride, even though he takes the mick out of it. So I know that there would have been something said, and I also feel this build up around my chest now as well. So if anyone can take all of that.
Can I just add something in there? And
Yeah.
when we talk about the shirt and tie, I did feel a certain amount of disdain with that as well, but he did suffer it. Also, I want to talk about there would have been, it felt like there was a stroke or a series of stroke, but it wasn't, he did not acknowledge it at that time. It wasn't acknowledged, so would have been missed on that first or second time. But I do feel there was a succession.
I also feel that this gentleman could jump up and down about certain subjects that he would be passionate about, and I sometimes feel that he could be a little bit tunnel visioned on things, and it goes back to being the stubbornness that I think you mentioned, Chris. You know, he would sort of like, Carrie and Marshall Kearns can understand this, and I just feel that he would get irate and jump up and down and want to get his point across. And also, I feel that he could be very impatient. He wouldn't wait until someone was to finish speaking before he wanted to interrupt and get his point across. So I just feel that he could have quite a loud voice, because I want to sort of shout above everybody else. So I feel that you had to do that within your family, I feel, because I do feel there was a lot of, like, one-upmanship within the family, especially when everybody was together for celebrations. It was, and the banter between the family as well. So I do feel that when people got together, it was sort of who could outdo people, and I feel he loved to have his say and be very,
If Marshall's isn't
yeah, we must acknowledge that Helen Mansell has said that she can take most of that. She can't take the Marshall, but he was a teacher of mechanics. So, I don't know where you guys feel directed. Helen says, sounds like my granddad, John, Peter, family members don't know a Marshall, but I'm Mansell.
So
my granddad was a mechanic in collar and tie. The feedback, obviously, that we got from Carrie Ann Marshall Kearns was that he had a heart attack. He was very impatient. And of course, her surname there is Marshall. Kearns. And he worked in a factory. So I don't know where you guys feel directed towards by your friends and helpers and this gentleman.
Yes.
But I think that there's more. Helen says her granddad was a quiet man. So I don't know about you, but I think Carrie Ann feels more, especially with that name connection there. But thank you for shouting out, Helen.
Yeah, definitely.
But yes, absolutely, exactly what Chris said earlier. Do keep listening in case there is some piggybacking going on, especially with three of us working together.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
possible.
Just going somewhere with the Marshall, and we thought that it was something to do with work. Can we just take that name out for a moment and look at, would there have been, Carrie Ann, would there have been a connection with a family business or the start of family business that wouldn't possibly have worked out? Would that make any sense to you, Carrie Ann?
Absolutely.
I've also got here something to do with Easter, because I've just been given Easter eggs. So I feel that there would have been Easter egg hunts, and I also feel there's 2 anniversaries or birthdays in April. I want one at the beginning and one sort of midway. So I want around sort of the 5th to the 8th, and then I want around the 21st, 23rd of April for some birthdays within the family there as well. So I don't know if that makes sense to you too, but I just feel that it is for you. I feel that it is for you, Carrie Ann. But as we've said, for Helen to understand that, or she says no to that.
Yeah, Carrie Ann. The one thing that I always feel when I've got a gentleman who can be quite formal and business-like, but quite overpowering with his passion and his determination, is this absolute build-up of frustration in the neck. And whoever I are to, there is that going on with them at the moment, because he's just drawing parallels with me, and he's just talking about when he wasn't able to just let it go. And that for me is a really strong, powerful theme coming through for whoever it is that we're talking to, about letting it go. So I don't know if there's something going on around you specifically at the moment, or whether it's just the moment and the time, this build up of letting things go, needing to be something that's done. Oh, thank you. Specifically at this time. At this time, and he said it to me 3 times. He had throat cancer, bless you.
Would you also understand that feel I want to talk about mother or grandmother here, that somebody in the family would be named after mother or grandmother, but I do feel it's the middle name. I'm going to the middle name. Now I see yours is Carrie Ann, and I'm wondering if Anne would be the name of one of these ladies. Can you pick up any of that, and you too?
I'm just sort of aware of this awful cough that I feel that was connected to that lady, Chris. I just suddenly felt as if I was coughing quite a lot, and I feel that this lady may have smoked or just had a bronchial chest problem here as well. So I feel that could be connected. But I'm also picking up. My mum has a problem too. Okay.
But that's
okay.
the different lady, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe it could be here that because there's 3 of us working, it could be that we've got 2 people here. I keep thinking maybe because we seem to be going between the 2 of them, so it could be that we've got 2 communicators here for both ladies. I think that could be the case. I think we started off with Carrie Ann, but I think now we're going more to Helen here. So I think
definitely want the Ann. I definitely want the Ann with an E.
Ann with an E.
Yes.
And yes. When you mentioned that, I have to agree with you. When you mentioned the name Anne, I did see it in my mind's eye with an E on the end. I didn't even realise that Carrie Ann hadn't got one on hers. You know what it's like.
Yeah,
but I saw an E there as well. So I do back you up on that. And I've also got to say that my arms feel so heavy with whoever it is that's connecting. It's just like, we've been talking a lot about the cold today. Even in warm weather, it would look like they were rubbing themselves to warm themselves up, but it's the way they're rubbing the muscles to get this numbness out. And this would be something that you would remember seeing them doing. It's like, are you cold? It's like 30 degrees outside. And no, I'm just rubbing to get the movement back in my arm, because it almost feels like it would have gone numb or stiff or something like that. And it would have been this part of the arm that they would have just been rubbing like that, maybe even with some liniment. Oh, now there's a word I don't use very often, with some liniment in the palm of the hand, just rubbing it in to get things moving. So I just add that as well.
Okay. I've still got this cough, but I don't know if would anybody else. I've got something to do with like carpal tunnel, so I feel that it's maybe somebody here that has got issues with their thumb, that they're having problems. Like, I don't know if it's arthritis or something to do with carpal tunnel, but I just feel that there's because as you were messing about with your hands there, Nick, I just felt that there was something to do with a pain here, and I just got sort of something to do with a pain in my hand as well. So it's interesting how it's sort of shifted a little bit. So he hid his medical conditions from us. All right. A lot of people did. Carrie Ann had carpal tunnel surgery. I did wonder if it was for somebody here, because I just suddenly felt that twinge for you. So I think if both ladies can understand quite a lot of this message, which we've done between the 3 of us, which I've quite enjoyed actually. I think that's quite. I like doing that. I do it with Neil sometimes. We work together doing
it's
a double
the old
link.
round robin, as they used to call it.
Yes.
And in actual fact, just to round up, I'm glad you said round robin, because you reminded me of something. One of the images that popped into my head was something about a robin being a memory link with one of you lovely ladies. But my friends, what would you look at the time? Thank you for a wonderful morning that is really perked up my spirits, and I know it has everyone at home too. The comments have just continued to roll in, and it's just been such a pleasure sharing these last few hours with you.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel like hours, I'll be honest.
No.
There we are. We have come to the end of our starting of the day, but of course the day continues.
It does.
You all of that upliftment and joy. And yes, it does continue, because tonight you are, of course, going to come back and see the lovely Claire Pasterfield. You are going to have an uplifting day. You are going to be filled with joy, and you are going to take the word of spirit out into the world and never give an inch, because that's what the SPTV family does.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And listen, as Chris has said, sit in the silence and listen and receive that healing, receive that guidance from spirit, and just know that the signs, they are around us, and they do try to guide us to help us live the best possible life that we can.
Absolutely.
As well.
Thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Chris, I'm sure we will have you back, because it's
Definitely.
been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
It'll be my pleasure too. Okay. Have a wonderful Christmas.
Yes.
We keep saying the word. We keep saying
It's
that word.
round the corner.
It is.
Creeping up on us.
Chris, it's been wonderful to have you. It really has, and it's been wonderful to spend these lovely hours with my wonderful co-host Nick. I really look forward to Mondays, as I keep saying. But it's a lovely space to chat and to work. It really is.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
And remember to burn your sage sticks and make your offerings of oracle cards to Richard I, the god of SPTV. As you go out into your day, it will make you feel good, I promise. From all of us here, have an uplifting day. God bless you all.
Bye.